Hey, everybody. I hope you guys are doing really amazing today. Oh, shit, let me turn this down. I actually just got done watching a White Boys video, and I have to say I actually really enjoyed it. Surprisingly, I was like bracing myself. I don't know, I didn't hear all of it. He made a little couple side remarks about me for the most part, but I thought he was being pretty fair throughout it from what I heard. Um, I didn't get to hear all of it, but I thought it was very informative, actually. So thank you guys for informing me about White Boys Upload. It's just more confirmation on this Netflix documentary that was being planned. And as far as I just want to get this straight, like right here, in my opinion about that. I'm not saying a documentary would be a bad thing for Summer Wells, like at all. Um, as long as it was handled correctly and fairly, that's all that I care about. But it could be a really good thing, but it could be very damaging to certain ones if there's a narrative trying to be spread um, with this documentary, instead of trying to be fair. My issue is more with the secrecy behind certain ones that I believe were involved in this and who were acting like they were doing something good for Summer Wells by not being sharing content on YouTube, on Summer Wells because it wasn't for YouTube, right? It wasn't content. But no, it was for content. It was for content for a documentary, and they were absolutely benefiting off of it. Is my and it was a way to. It was also done in a way that was secret. They didn't want like Fred's side of everything to be heard, but it sounded like to me they were trying to push a narrative, and that's my issue about it. If there's going to be something like that, and if they're going to sit there and focus on Fred at all, then they need to be able to interview Fred and get his opinion too. It needs to be completely fair. That's all I'm saying. And all of it. Everybody, they need to interview everybody, not just sit there and point fingers at people. So yeah, I do think it could be beneficial if it was done correctly. That's not my issue at all. So I just want to put that up there, say that right now. So yes, happy Mother's Day to everybody. And thank you guys for being here. I hope everybody is doing good. I don't know how long we're going to be on here doing this. I'm trying to think here which one I want to do first here. It's just really strange stuff. Here, let's go to. I think that we need to first. Now, my main focus on this is going to be on Ginny, but there's going to be obviously other people that come up a little bit because there was a group of them who went down to Tennessee around like October and November of 2023, and they were being super secretive. And we're even going to listen to Chasing Truth out of her own mouth, who was part of this group with Ginny and them. And even Chasing Truth says herself This is October of 2023. She talks about what they're up to and what they're doing out there in Tennessee, right? So let's listen to this. But we're not supposed to think, or the only thing only thing that pissed me off about it is, for one, they try to treat me like I was lying about it, like I was lying about the documentary, and like I was crazy, right? But now it's like more and more coming out that it's actually the truth. And not only that, they were up to shit. Remember the whole group of people up on Fred's property around this time, around like in November or even October, November 2023, around that time, the same time that these people were up there. So yeah, it was really suspicious. And then when you listen to this, guys, it's even more creepy. Like, she's literally telling on herself right here in this whole group.
Nana, guess who's locked and loaded? Nana, guess we're gonna find out with Nana. People like, oh, you old ladies think you're tough. Fuck around and find out and see. If not, you think we went up there like little old ladies in our little house shoes and our little house dresses, and we're like, we're gonna go look for summer whales? No, that's not what happened. We were hunting that day.
We were hunting that day, hunting for people.
For people.
Hunting for people.
Who could have actually nefarious things going on, right? Tracked them down, got photos and videos and the whole 9 yards. Guess who's never going to see those? Y'all are not going to see those. That too.
Guess who's never going to see those? Y'all's never going to see those. And they acted like they had that it wasn't for content. Rubbing in your face that you guys aren't going to ever see this stuff, that, it was for TBI. And we're going to watch here in a second what exactly it was. Like, we're going to see what Jenny claims that it was too much a secret and confidential and only for TBI. And we're about to see it here in a second. I don't know who, I mean, it's ridiculous. They're sitting here wanting people to believe that there wasn't more behind all this than them just going there to turn stuff into TBI, stuff that the TBI is already going to have. You don't think that TBI has the metadata of the pictures and video from the 15th? I mean, that's going to be one of the first things that they're trying to do is check that those pictures are done on the 15th. They're going to look into that. I'm pretty sure FBI has got that covered. I don't think they need Jenny doing that and turning it in.
Documented as hell, Skilo. Super documented. Super up close documented.
Documented as hell, Skilo.
Thanks to Adrian. Super in the truck with the zoom. Oh, you're on candid camera, motherfucker.
Oh my god.
Y'all ain't never gonna see shit. Nana.
So weird to me. But they want to act like this did not happen.
Guess who's locked and loaded? Nana.
Nana. Guess who's
locked and loaded? Fuck around and find out with Nana. People like, oh, you old ladies think you're tough. Fuck around and find out and see. If not, you think we went up there like little old ladies in our little house shoes and our little house dresses, and we're like, we're gonna go look for summer whales? No, that's not what happened. We were hunting that day. Hunting for people who could have actually nefarious things going on, right? Tracked them down, got photos and videos and the whole 9 yards. Guess who's never going to see those? Y'all are not going to see those. That too. Y'all are never going to see none of that. Documented as hell, Stilo. Super documented. Super up close documented. Thanks to Adrian. Super in the truck with the zoom. You're on candid camera, motherfucker.
So fucking weird, dude. But I'm not supposed to believe that you guys were the ones sneaking around on Fred's property when you're literally bragging about doing this stuff. Hold on. Okay. All right. So let's go. This is the video that got me. This is supposedly some of the, evidence that she got while she was there doing this like documentary or whatever they were doing. This is what she claimed was so secretive. This is Jenny from Gavel Geeks claimed was so secretive that was not for the public. So they're going over. She's going over supposed metadata, and she brings up, of course, has to bring up Fred, and we're going to talk about that too, and the stuff that she claims in that. Happy Mother's Day. Hey, Matthew.
No. Oh, that's what I was trying to get.
Okay. Right here. Media created 6/15/2021, 3:09 p.m. Here's your proof. It is on the name of the video here, 2021 06/15.
So why is this now safe to be released? Why was this such a secret for so long? Why do you, and then Yennefer wants to say that it wasn't for content. In that phone call that I shared in a previous live about Yennefer, that private phone call when we're talking about this and Gavel Geeks and their whole secrecy around the time. And this is what was not for content. The metadata supposedly on the videos and pictures, which we're supposed to somehow believe her on automatically that she's correct in this. And where did she receive these? How did she go about like getting this information? But we're just supposed to take this woman's word for it. But besides that, tell me how she thought she was telling TBI something they didn't know. What benefit would it be for TBI to have this information as if they have not done this themselves? It just doesn't make sense that this was not for content. I think it was meant to be for content, and then your guys' little Netflix documentary for some reason fell through because you were, according to Don Wells, up to nefarious things and wanting drama. At least he said that's what Nana for Life was about. And I do think that everybody should go over and listen to White Boy's video, even though, like, he makes a couple digs at me, but it's okay. Like, for the most part, I agree with him, and I think he's being pretty fair. Yeah, Don Wells even told me, I shared that conversation here recently. I shared text messages between me and Don where he sent long texts telling me that the reason him and Nana for Life fell through was because he backed out of the Netflix documentary. And then White Boy talks more about it today and shares more of something like that, kind of similar, his conversation with Don Wells about the same subject, this documentary. And Don Wells claims that he was paid $10,000, but he backed out of it because of that they were wanting drama. But White Boy goes on to say that actually he feels like the documents that were released around the same time, like these CPS documents, put a really big damper in something to do with the documentary. I don't know. And it upset Don and Candace. That's what White Boy, I think, is insinuating. So she's showing supposedly these pictures and what time they were shown. And here in a little bit, she'll go get to the pool. I really, I don't even know if I really even want to watch this full thing because I don't know how she got this information. And it is cut from her original video. I understand that. But there's something in this where she refers to the pool. So she's going around, she's showing pictures that supposedly happened from the 15th, I don't know exactly how she accessed these or how we're supposed to believe her about her metadata and stuff. I don't know. I didn't know she's a photo forensic expert. There's a picture. It is interesting here. This picture of Candace on the, Summer on the roof.
21:07:27.
I'll give her.
Which means it was about 9 o'clock. 9:27.
So this is supposedly.
So 9:27 at night. On the 14th. In her little dress.
So this is supposedly on the 14th. I guess, right? I don't know. But she's showing these pictures that happen around certain times, allegedly, and this and that. And then she gets to the swimming pool, right? Then she gets to the swimming pool. And we're going to probably try to get Fred to weigh in on this here. Because this is really interesting how she likes to rewrite history on what happened and about Fred's going up on the hill when he saw Summer in the pool with another boy he thinks was Damien at that time. It looked like Damien. And now, but Gavel Geeks is claiming in this clip that Fred just made it up. Like he never saw anybody in a pool, like Summer in a pool. That is impossible because of some kind of truck thing that supposedly something about a truck, because it's like that's completely not the right story. Anyway,
that's the pool before it was set up.
So here we go. Here's this pool.
This is 2021-04-19. So you see the pool. That means previous to April 19th, the pool was not there.
April 19th, previous to April. Okay, so April 19th, supposedly of 2021, is supposedly the metadata of this picture. Okay, claiming that this pool couldn't have been there before that date because supposedly that's when this happened.
Okay. Put water in it.
But that's if we're taking her word for it that that's when these pictures were posted, okay? So here's them putting water in a picture. Interesting that she's got these fucking pictures. I wonder why Don and Candace would have gave her these type of things, or unless it was for something more, like Yeah, this documentary that they've been denying this whole time, that Don Wells has come out and confirmed. But like I said, my problem with it is the way that they try to.
I mean, the pool's sitting in the same spot it was when I seen it 3 weeks prior to summer going missing.
Right there?
Mm-hmm. Same pool.
So she's saying, okay, but listen to her story.
19th. April 19th. So it was set up on April 19th. But she posted this March 2nd, or May 2nd, sorry. Landscape type photos.
And then she supposedly posted this picture, and this is supposedly the same area with no pool in it, is what she's trying to say.
You could see the entire area, but this is where
pool
the
had to be taken down at a certain time because
it was gone by the 13th. So it was up less than a month.
She was trying to say it was up for less than a month.
And I haven't seen any photos of anybody in the pool with her. So I'm not really sure about any of that. Like when
So she's trying to say because she didn't see Summer Wells in any type of pool with anybody in any pool, Summer Wells in a pool with anybody, that all of a sudden, basically she's trying to insinuate that Fred's lying and he didn't see it because she hasn't seen pictures of it existing.
Where it came from, but let me see if I can find really quickly.
I don't know where it came from, just his fucking experience. What do you mean?
All I know is he was there about 3 weeks before Summer went missing. That was the only time I ever seen it there.
Is that he saw them in the pool when he went up there to talk to Don about the truck, take the truck off, the piece of truck. And
she said, here she's saying that you saw him in a pool when you went up there to go ask about a truck.
The piece of crap truck.
Went up there
and then
on for a gallon of gas because I was running low in gas, and I rode up there to see if he might have a gallon I could borrow, so I know I'd make it to town, and I was going to bring it straight back to him. But he wasn't there when I was.
So it had nothing to do with the truck. I don't know. Maybe I said that, and that's where you're getting that, but I don't think you heard Fred say that it had something to do with the truck.
Don actually gave me the truck about a year before Summer went missing, and I'd actually got it about 6 months or something before Summer went missing and took it to 207.
Oh, so you didn't drag it down there until 6 months before Summer went missing?
Yeah.
So, yeah, because she's sitting here saying, oh, well, the dates don't match because she talked to somebody who heard Fred dragging it down, to the road or something and how loud it was. Well, for one, it wasn't the fucking same incident. God.
Driveway camper lady came back with, hey, I was actually messaging somebody about how dumb they were trying to pull that piece of junk down the driveway and how much noise it made. So I'll see if I can find that. But long story short, the dates don't match. The pool wasn't even there when he would have been up there.
So the dates don't match. So automatically it must be Fred lying, right? Some hearsay from somebody else. It must be Fred lying when she's even got the whole story. It's not even correct. Anyways.
But the law enforcement was kind of wondering why the pool was took down so early.
Yeah, so it's kind of weird that you want to act like Fred just made up the pool story. Like he didn't see, you like he just didn't see Summer in a pool at all. It was with some other boy. Like, not that he could have got it mixed up, that it was a different guy, not Damien, but you're trying to say that it just did not happen completely and Fred's just making it up. See, these are the people who, like, why I have a problem with these type of people being part of a documentary that's going to be biased in a way to try to make Fred look a certain way with not even getting Fred's fucking story. So that's why I have a fucking problem with it. Because they don't want the fucking actual truth. They want to make things look a certain way. Of course, there's Nana for life all throughout the chat. Like, she always And she's the same one that we just showed, Chasing Truth, talking about Nana for Life and how they're out there hunting people. And this is the same group that Jenny is connected to and was a part of too. Maybe some of them were involved in certain parts of it and not others. Like, I think Jenny wasn't there for part of it at certain times, and certain ones. They all involved in different types of fuck shit. Like, so, but they're all part of working together. And of course, they're attached to somebody, just like I showed yesterday, Ryan Finds Truth, who just so happens to have been in a documentary before. Like, it's not suspicious as hell. And I'm not just, and they're mad at me because I just can see right through them. When they're, it's obviously I'm going to see it when they're going to say things that didn't even, like when the main target is Fred.
Waiting on me or something. They what I do, just being kind. So I finally just back. I back all the way down here.
Yeah. Very important. That's a different story. This truck story is something different.
All the way down here.
Yeah. Hold on. Very important.
On me or something. They what I do, just being kind. So I finally just back. I back all the way down here.
Yeah. What is this talking about, Fred?
Very important. This is him talking about how there was a truck came back there. This is the day Summer went missing.
Oh, that's about the freaking dark blue truck that went back to the end of the hauler. That's completely different than what Jenny is talking about here. That's a different type of truck. That truck had to do with this truck that we're talking about here is about a dark blue truck being suspicious, like seeming like down at the end of the hauler, and it seemed to have followed Andy out. Or
I did follow Andy out.
Yeah. That's what we're talking about in this clip. But that's a completely different.
He saw a truck come back by there that was acting suspicious. At first it didn't. He notices that kind of stuff, like the tags and stuff. I think a lot of those people do out there, especially if they notice, like, when somebody doesn't belong. You've heard Scott talk about that, and others. Like, thankfully, when I've been back there, nobody's been like really out to see me really, except Fred the one time. And I guess the people at the end of the road.
So obsessed with Summer, it's beyond creepy. Says the people who are involved with trying to fucking cause a lot of fuck shit in Summerwell's case, and gotta change reality and behind like these secret like missions, right? Hunting people. But we're obsessed with Summer. You're telling me that Fred shouldn't, the one who actually has firsthand experiences, you're telling me that's not more important than some freaking random right here, in her opinion and her metadata on pictures, her work on that. Like, don't you think somebody who actually has like firsthand experience and it's their fucking, they lived it, like but yeah, he's just not supposed to tell his stories and experiences at all. Okay. Yeah, we're so obsessed, dude.
Or they work for the, not FBI, they're in the witness protection program.
Marlena's daughter was there with them on the slip and slide and all this stuff. The 11th would have been the Friday before. This is when she went home later that day. So they try to claim it was the weekend. It was not. These pictures at IHOP, this was May 31st. The mouth is probably from IHOP. This is May 21st. That they were out.
What are you taping me?
And this is 14.
So you're telling me what?
What do we need?
This is what was not for content. What about, like, who were you guys hunting and what was that all for about? Like, yeah, we were hunting people up to nefarious things while we're breaking laws and trespassing. It doesn't seem like something that you would turn into TBI or law enforcement.
No, they ain't
you
gonna turn that information
you
there in
you
stuff that they was doing illegal, because they'll go down for that, you know. That's information that they will not release, just like they said. And I know that they didn't turn it into TBI because it incriminates themselves in criminal activity.
What's this?
That stupid.
Right there. She's got an ace. Look at ace bandage. Brace. That video was she created that video May 31st on the same day, and most of them are being Grandma King was in town.
Yeah.
Scott got in. The sheriff.
Day.
Yeah, I know.
A lot of these are on the same.
When try to turn in and stuff, Scott's going to know firsthand that it's straight up bullshit. Because they just 5 of them guys, Scott and Gary and Nate and String Bean, and I'm trying to think the other one. And I worked with 3 of them, so, and they know firsthand what was going on with a lot of it with me.
Yeah, so you could try to rewrite. You can't rewrite history with Scott Stewart.
No, not when he's part of the group I work for or helped out. They don't know my situation.
Yeah, but
and what the agenda was behind them trying to get me to do certain things. And see, Ronnie's one stepped in and pulled 2 of the guys off of the hill and stuff that was actually trying to take and get answers for Summer.
yeah, but I think that has a lot to do with the alcohol idea, though. Hey, Pretty Sweet Pea. Hey, Mimi Jean. Thank you guys all for being here, and happy Mother's Day.
Same day, and most of them are when Grandma Candy was in town.
No, I never did go down to her seat.
Decide to
see Scott and them. Team was one that seen all the real mega data and stuff. You see
the metadata or whatever. I mean, they're gonna know this stuff. That's gonna be
do whatever, try to get it taken down. Especially with that those timestamps and photographs and videos in there. I would love for those to be able to stay up.
So, and of course there was a let's see, who is it? Oh gosh, right here. Tragedy Pimps Exposed and Lisa K. Having Ziggy then prove it to be false. It's info, Ziggy. I'm open to being wrong. No, you're really not very open to being wrong, Gavel Geeks. At all. You guys had a narrative and you wanted Fred, you wanted to prove Fred a liar, and every single time that you try to debunk him, it's like through somebody else's word. Not to say he's involved in something, but I just think he isn't honest. Oh yeah, okay. So let's hear specifics. Tragedy Pimp Exposed. Like, you don't have to believe them, but like, let's hear the evidence. You know, that's what's important. What's actually fact, not just your opinion. I want to hear, like, you know, why you think he's not honest. And I don't care if you think he's a hero that I betray him to be or whatever. I I mean, I do feel like he was is very important in Summerwell's case. I do think the information he's turned in was important, and I think the recordings are very valuable. If you're going to tell me that you don't think those recordings are super valuable on the 15th, 16th, 17th, which were of the parents and the neighbors right after Summerwell's went missing, then you are so full of shit. That is highly important. That's like within like hours of Summerwell's going missing. It's going to be really important. I mean, you act like, I mean, I don't know what you're trying to prove, but this is no competition. And I'm not trying, it's just the truth. It's just the truth. It is invaluable. Hearing that those recordings are super important because Summer Wells just went missing. And it's important to be hearing what the neighbors and certain peoples were saying and doing right after. So you are just blinded by hate. And you do have hate. Like right here you say you don't have hate. Yes, you are. You're full of hate.
That is like a lot of camera footage from Ben Hill Road and stuff. That's how the law enforcement went back 3 weeks or farther back than Summer had went missing and went and questioned everybody that even been on that road that was seen on cameras and stuff. That's how they know certain people was in the area at certain times because of the camera footage.
Facts don't care what you believe, Ziggy. Seriously, leave everyone alone and let them look at the evidence for themselves and decide. We shouldn't have to convince people of things, just allow the facts to speak to themselves. No. What facts? Gavel Geeks, like you don't have facts is the problem. So obviously I'm going to defend these lies that you say. You don't want me to fucking, like, you don't want Fred to defend himself on the things that you're saying are lies? Oh, LMFAO. Fred witnessed things firsthand doesn't throw a red flag for you? No, I don't think it throws a red flag for me. No, not at all. There was a lot of people on the road that day, and yeah, they're going to ask and want his opinion. Maybe he has nothing to do with Summer's disappearance, but he lies every time he opens his mouth about Summer's case. You're just too stupid to see it, or you're compliant. My bet is compliant for the grift. Right, Sassy? Okay. Yeah, no, it does not throw a red flag for me that Fred recorded for law enforcement. No. That's witnessing things firsthand. So you think you're being funny? Just because Fred recorded for law enforcement and that's not important? Is that what you're trying to say? Just because you guys say things are lies doesn't make it so. And then this Natasha is, trying to say Fred's telling truth since when? And then I'm asking for specifics. Where did I lie? You keep saying I used that word. You know what I mean? The video is clipped. There's more context and proof, but you refuse to watch it because I don't believe Fred 100%. I believe there are bits of truth to the story, but a lot he claims is provable false. We love Fred, so you love Fred. So I get that. I don't, though. I care about cleaning up the bullshit and lies. Right. That's what you care about. Sure you do. You can play attention or not, but you need to stop raging at people who point out where Fred is proving. You're not proving him wrong anywhere, though. No, you're not. You're not proving him wrong anywhere. Like, I have not seen any type of proof of him wrong. You're using other people's words, and that doesn't make sense. That doesn't prove anything. Yeah, Netflix paid Donna Candace $10K down for a documentary that was never made. Yep. So I want to hear, why do we have if Ginny wants to come up and, tell us where Fred has lied specifically, we could discuss it. And actually, I could get Fred right here and to debate her, since she knows what he experienced so much better than he does. Yeah, she takes hearsay as truth, is my issue here. So if she wants to come up here and tell me,
beautiful
that
picture of summer.
without me having to sit there and sift through a hate stream of just talking trash the whole time, like, who wants to listen to that? Why would I want to listen to that stuff? Yeah, and then they're trying to turn around the reason why I'm upset about this whole thing. Like, it's because they've tried to paint me a freaking liar, and like I was crazy and I didn't know, like, that something was going on.
Thank you for becoming a member. Appreciate you. Can't stand her.
That's what. But it's like, it's crazy. Like, I remember even before being with Fred, trying to be on a panel with her, and I couldn't take it because she was the type that would, she claims that she's open, like, to change her mind. No, she's not. Like, she's dead set on this stuff. You try to tell her differently, and she'll just say that Fred's lying. She doesn't even. She'll hear somebody else's hearsay, and suddenly it's Fred that's not being honest, because what they're saying doesn't match what he's saying.
Laugh. She thinks it's cute. I don't know if it's fake, if it's real, what, but maybe it's a nervous thing. I'm not sure. But hold on one sec.
This is
Sorry, anything interesting going on?
May 22nd, 2023. And this is probably I don't know exactly. This is Tiffany Marie's, and
kind of boring, ain't it?
I kind of want to hear what they're talking about around this time.
It actually was. But, hello, everybody. Welcome. Welcome.
Welcome.
Well, so some things were said today that were completely untrue. Who do we have here? Oh, hold on one second.
Hi, y'all.
Of course, you see Yennefer right in the chat there. It's the same,
Need to go.
Nicole, speaking of Nicole has been for almost a year. Has it been a year yet? Almost a year. Anything with my name in it, anything about me, anything that mentions me or my friends, people she used to be friends with, she shows up for it all. And I have yet to see a single truth what you do to them now, right? I'm going to talk about Nicole coming up really soon and some others, but I'm not going to
telling their stories. Hilo, Gemini hippie, cool gamer. Oh, just a note: if you show up in chat, someone may think that you're part of some crazy conspiracy.
Yes.
Baton Rouge.
So it's
Hey,
really
hi, cool gamer. Good to see you. Hi, Nicole. Thank you, Baton Rouge.
You too, Baton Rouge.
So, okay. I don't even know where to start. Where do we even start? Okay, let's start back last year. About that.
Okay.
When we started talking to Andy, maybe that be suffice for everybody. That suffice. I mean, just
yeah. So I mean, just a note: I didn't seek out Andy or Amy or
so they're
anybody.
talking about their relationship with Andy, I guess. So this is another thing too. These people are completely biased and buddies with people like Andy Bernard, and obviously at one point the Wells they had become friends with because it benefited them. So just remember when we're trying to take their opinion on things like concerning Fred, that they're best buddies with Andy Bernard. Not a conflict of interest or anything. Well, they're acting like they just care that they just want the truth for Summer. So if she would like to tell me up here, because I'm not going to watch a hate video that she does. I've seriously tried to watch her shit where she tries to talk about the contradictions of Fred Hill, but I can't get through it because the whole time it's her fucking gossiping and just sitting there making fun of, and nothing like the parts I've ever heard are hardly ever any type of real evidence. It's just her giving her opinions on things. Yeah, and they try to make it me, like I was a horrible human being for insinuating something like a documentary was going on when, depending on if every single one of these people, including Jenny, were going to be in it, they still were aware of it. I mean, maybe every single one of these people, like maybe, I don't know, maybe Jenny, Adrian chasing Nana for Life, Yennefer, maybe not, Ryan, maybe not all of them are in it. But it's all of them are part of trying to spread a narrative. Especially when it comes to Fred. There's a couple, I don't really know too much about chasing and what her whole, I don't know. Except I really don't. But she was like part of this at the beginning here, and I think very aware of stuff going on, and then they want to act like I was like they weren't up to something. Yeah, there's wanting to say Fred's not relevant, that they're always targeting him. Exactly.
Yeah, I think it's funny that they think they got so much, but they don't even know what the law enforcement's really even got. It's like camera footage of Field Roads. It's like camera footage of Kenneth being at the aquatic center on the 15th. A lot of stuff that people don't know.
Yeah. You can't really know that Fred, somebody's lying unless you know the truth of what really happened. And that's again what I'm saying with these people is they claim to know Fred's time is lying, but how could you possibly know that he's lying unless you knew the truth? And we just debunked her story about this whole, Fred must have been lying about the pool because the truck wasn't up there, when that's not even what he went up there. When he went up for the pool and saw the pool, that had nothing to do with the truck.
No.
And like I said, maybe I said something wrong, but I really don't think you got Fred saying that himself.
guilt. So I don't know where that lie came from, but people came to us.
Yeah. So, and chicken on a stick.
Huh?
The old truck that Don gave me was black. What little bit of it was left.
Yeah, it wasn't like and like they even talk about having to drag it down there or whatever. And they claim they talked to somebody who heard it, and you supposedly dragging it down there, which I don't know who that would be, but I mean, maybe they did, but it was still not the same time of the pool incident. And you know, Jenny wants you guys to believe that Fred's just completely lying about the pool incident. And why would she do that? Because for some reason she wants to defend Andy Bernard and everything.
She reached out to us. We did not reach out to her. Who else? Yeah, you know, Amy, which is Jody's sister. That was set up through Chicken on a Stick.
All right, so I want to make note here. This is important. So immediately you see that Sassy here is explaining she didn't reach out to Amy, Jody's sister, right? She reached out to her. She didn't reach out to Andy. He reached out to her. It's all never them.
Mm-hmm.
Never them. Let me tell you, Jenny, Gavel Geeks, gets on the phone with Jody's sister pretty much daily. They have a very close relationship. Same with Andy, Jody's ex. These two women have woven themselves into the fabric of Jody's past family life and still current family life, like legit blood family. They have woven themselves like a quilt, for real, like a knitted blanket. They're all up in Jody's family. What happened was they started talking about Summer a little bit. They didn't do much coverage of Summer, to be quite honest with you. They used to listen to me. Jenny told me that she was involuntary polymath in my chat and that she was a huge fan and yada, yada, yada. They took on to a bit of hate for Jody, and it grew and grew and grew, and it grew into something extremely big.
Yeah.
Like a deep, dark.
Mm-hmm. It became obsessive. And now her obsession has grew into Fred and me too. These people get obsessive. It did get absolutely out of control with the Jody Sue stuff. Like, I was like, you know, at this time, this is May 22nd, 2023. Me and Fred weren't even together until like the end of that year or the beginning of 2024. Yeah, really 2024. The beginning. So Fred hadn't been in jail yet. But they had already had that incident where up on the hill, or there was that incident over on Fred's property that ended 2022, like October, November, I think it was. Yeah. Same time these people were all around there, and here comes Jenny and Adrian back to the internet, but they were acting like they were done with YouTube, done with the Summer Wells, and people weren't going to ever see that whatever they got when they were down in Tennessee, and it wasn't for content. Just so full of shit, dude.
Dark hole that they just haven't been able to crawl out of. But these people have gone more than real life I've ever seen. I've never seen anything quite like what they've actually done. And I've been in some really fucked up communities. I've seen a lot of things. I've dealt with a lot of different types. I've not ever seen this before. Never. I've never seen anything like what they've done with her family members by anybody on this platform. Not in the communities I've been in. I'm sure it's happened somewhere where, you know, people have done this type of thing, but I don't think I've even heard of it in a missing persons case. What happened is they ended up getting really, really close to Andy Bernard, and he became like family to them. So you're going to hear Adrienne say, Andy should have never put me in that position. She's so.
Wow. See? Really, really close to Andy Bernard. Interesting. Wonder why. Andy Bernard was right there with you guys when you're talking to Richard Gurley. And the whole like movie documentary stuff comes up. Andy Bernard, it was behind this stuff with you guys. You became best buddies with them and Dawn and Candace at the time because it benefited you. But yeah, this stuff was not for content, right?
So angry in this. Andy comes in and says, I'm so sorry, Adrienne. I shouldn't have done that. Blah, blah. It's too late. It's too late for anything, but all she's worried about is herself and the position she's been put in. She doesn't worry about anybody else or the position she puts others in, right? I've been sitting here for months asking why they did what they did here in front of this entire community, not only to me, but to the entire community. They lied like a rug to everybody and had this entire community believing that a child was in imminent danger. And we believed them. How about just apologize and admit your wrongs and then just never talk about it again? Like, it's just that simple. If you fuck up, you.
Remember, yeah, when they got all super involved in Jody Sue's like daughter's life. It was Jenny was talking about wanting to saying something like she was willing to adopt Jody Sue's daughter and stuff. Weird, dude. We're supposed to fucking take this girl's like opinions when she is best buddies with Andy Bernard. Thinks it's a great idea that if she adopts Jody Sue's daughter, like she gets like obsessive.
You can admit it. You can apologize. You can say you did what you did instead of denying it like it happened on a live in public. There's receipts for this. Actually, Jenny has a whole entire 13-hour call that she refuses to put out. Instead, on this live stream, they put out a private phone call between a father and son to deflect from the 13-hour phone call. So everybody's confused, thinking they're showing something. They're not showing anything. They're not giving anything. Jenny put the call out. I want everybody to hear it. I really do. I want everybody to hear every single piece of that call. It's so important.
Because she kept saying, well, Amy said this or Amy said that, and we're like, okay, how are we supposed to? I mean, that's her say we don't. And she was like, I'll just put you in a group chat with her. And so she did, So that's how we started talking to her. Andy, we did not help his sister.
Yeah.
That was set up through Chicken on the Stick, because she kept saying, well, Amy said this or Amy said that, and we're like, okay, like how are we supposed to? I mean, that's hearsay. We don't. And she was like, well, I'll just put you in a group chat with her. And so she did, so that's how we started talking to her. Andy, we did not help him terrorize anyone.
That's ridiculous.
Did we get maybe too rough on how our presentation of calling out Jody's lies? Yeah, probably. Yeah, I can agree with that. But
It's
I
really aggravating.
Yeah, but I have not been live about Jody on my channel for well over half a year.
Okay. After the trip to Tennessee that they had, where Adrian admits she wore a body cam, but then lies about it. There's production companies involved on Skilo's part. Adrian lying about wearing a camera, then
production companies being involved. Huh. Wow, dude. This is like, again, 3 years ago. Almost exactly 3 years ago. And they're still trying to deny anything to do with a documentary. And like they weren't up to something, and I tried to call this out forever, but they're still denying it. Like they didn't have like certain motives while they're fucking hunting people. And at the same time, and I'm not supposed to be fucking concerned, or nor is anybody else, about the freaking how biased a documentary with these type of people would be when they are trying to promote Andy Bernard and silence Fred Hill. But they never, you know what I mean? They only wanted to talk to certain people. So yeah, I should have a problem when you were planning on probably tarnishing Fred's name without even letting him give his side. Because you guys think that you're especially Jenny, the queen, and what you say is truth is suddenly truth because you say it. And Fred lies because you say he lies because you debunk him with other people's opinions or their supposed experiences. All that is you choosing one person over the other.
admitting it in Circle Jerks chat, but not really telling anybody the truth, forgetting she wrote that. Jenny lying about it. They're all lying. They're all lying. Whatever they've got going on, I don't know. I wasn't there. I wasn't involved with it. Why would you need to go live about Jody? You've done everything you needed to do through her own family members. Adrian, you're so busy behind the scenes, truly so busy behind the scenes, weaving yourself still daily into her life, okay, on the outskirts of her life, wherever you can get in and fit in. You don't have time to go live. This isn't about Summer to you anymore because your hate for another individual took over so strongly that you can't even control it. You don't even know where the lines in the sand are. You have no boundaries. at all. At all.
No, they don't. They don't have boundaries. They're connected with a group that thinks it's okay to hunt people and hide in bushes, and supposedly, and they get to decide who they feel is doing nefarious things. And because they feel that certain ones are doing nefarious things, in their mind, it's okay. In their mind, it's okay to trespass and go up on people that they get to decide who are nefarious and up to shit. They're the ones that get to decide that, not law enforcement. We literally just heard Chasing Truth fucking saying they were hunting for humans. I wonder what is the real reason why they didn't want Benny to be a part of this. Did they think he was too much of a liability or something? I want to know the truth of that, why they really ditched Benny. Happy Mother's Day. So glad you're going over this. Hey, Brenda. Well, I'm tired of them, pushing certain narratives. We might go over, I don't know, maybe not, just because Matthew just released it. I think Matthew did a really good video. I mean, even though there was a couple, like, his, pokes at me is fine, but overall, like, he does show a conversation between him and Dawn about this documentary that Dawn confirms again, like I've been trying to say. And once again, like I said earlier, I'm not saying a documentary wouldn't be a good thing if it was done the right way. I honestly don't think that Fred or myself would really even want to be a part of something like that. So it has nothing to do with that. But I wouldn't mind if as long as if they're going to bring up Fred in it, then they need to also bring up his side too. That's it. And I don't think I would have wanted to been a part of what type of documentary they were going for here. Because it doesn't seem very, fair. And to me, it sounds like something's extremely, extremely secretive. And there was supposedly, the cops were supposedly called to 110 Ben Hill Road, which I wish we could try to FOIA. I don't know if there's a way to FOIA. They probably wouldn't, because it's an open investigation, even if it was after Summer. Even if it is after Summer went missing. Because I heard that some people have tried to FOIA certain things, but I want to see the proof myself. I'm not going to just take somebody's word for it. Certain things have happened. And then Ryan's say he's been a part. Well, he has. I showed that yesterday. He has about a total of 30 seconds of him total ever being on a documentary or TV, and he goes around putting it everywhere. I showed that yesterday. It's the same clip showed on both episodes, and it's from about 15 years ago almost. And on every social media profile, he puts that he's been a part on TV. And I literally showed, if you want to check that out, I would watch my live stream last night, because I show that. I show the clips of when he was on a documentary. And literally the total amount he was on this, and it was all, both of them were like the last 10 minutes of the program too. Like one was like hour and 20 minutes long, and his part didn't even come on till like an hour and 10 minutes into it. And then it was like 10 seconds. And then that same clip was put up on another episode of this book of secrets type thing, and they put just a bunch of conspiracy theories together, and Ryan's in it again talking the same thing about this Mormon baptism by proxy type deal. And he's just talking about Mormon conspiracy theories and secret things that supposedly they have going on in their churches. I don't know. But I have to pee, so I'm going to play this for a second.
Would you even have time to go live about Jody at this point? You're too busy fucking with her life and her kids. They are total pathological liars. It is pathological. There's no doubt about it, because I literally see this. We watch it. It's horrible. Shay has more oh, yes. Shay also admits to having a bunch of recorded calls of Jody's son. They have been recording her son, and this has been all going on for quite a while. And I don't know if her son was even aware or is aware of all these things. I don't know. And I don't want to ask. It's not my business. And I don't ask questions. I don't even like it. It's horrible.
So let's see. You guys are free to ask any question that you want. But I know for a fact that because Tiffany did not get what she wanted from Jenny and I, that this is why she's done this. It started months ago. And because we don't bend on certain things, she wants to discredit and destroy us.
All right. So I didn't get what I wanted from them months ago. And now this is another lie. Let me clear this up. It's really simple. I asked for one thing that I didn't even want or need at the time. It was a request from Fizzle. She wanted me to ask Jenny. Oh, how fucking convenient. Once again, right? She wanted me to ask Jenny for the recording of the 13-hour call so that Benny could match up the voices that were missing, because while screen recording the conversation on that Google Meet, okay, you could only hear Jenny on one. So the one Jenny recorded, you could only hear Penny. You couldn't hear Jenny. On Penny's, you could hear Jenny, but you couldn't hear Penny. Fizzle wanted me to ask Jenny. I have proof of that. I don't know why Fizzle's not admitting that. I asked strictly for her.
Okay.
And she said, I wish you'd hurry up and get irritated about this, because I'm waiting. I need why she needed her side put out, I don't know. So I asked Jenny and I said, could you please put out the other side? Blah, blah, blah. She said no. She told me I needed to explain to her why it was important to Summer now.
Oh my God, dude. I swear, like, that is how freaking Jenny is, dude. She is so, like, domineering and like a know-it-all, and has to be, like, in control. It's crazy. Like I don't know who this woman thinks she is, but she's another one that inserts herself in everything. With Nana for Life and the same crew. And this is 3 years ago, and this shit still
really became important. The 13-hour call.
And I don't know what 13-hour
more
call.
So important.
I'm not sure what the 13-hour call is, really. But
And as time went on, when I found out more and more and more, and then I really found out that this call had nothing to do with, because remember, I didn't hear it. It came down before I even ended my life. I had never heard that phone call. So Penny wanted the 13-hour call pieced out, just the pieces that she put out what she wanted. She had an hour and 14 minutes. Jenny says she only had 2 hours. Jenny has the whole thing. The whole thing. Jenny even has conversations of me in her database from Discord calls, whatever. She records everything. There is nothing Jenny does not record.
she does. She's a very obsessive person, for sure.
Document and keep. She has everything. Jenny, put out whatever you want. Because there is nothing that I've ever done. You have done the ultimate. I'm not even sweating a goddamn thing. Trust and believe. I could not care less at all. You're the one with shit to hide. That's why Jenny pretended to put out, right? She made it public for about 10 minutes. I start playing it. She's texting me. I was about to get in the shower one day. I put the thing to play, right? Because Jenny finally put out 2 hours of this. Jenny is Gavel, by the way, for those that don't know. I call her Jenny. I don't particularly call her Gavel Geeks, whatever, but anyway, I was about to get in the shower and let the thing play. She immediately texted me and said, "Oh my God, Scott is in this." And then she says, and the kids from the daycare that Linda worked, Linda ran the daycare, that their names weren't redacted. I said, okay, private it, fix it, whatever, take your time. I'm not going to be back live today. Because she's like, oh, I'm going to fix this and I'm going to send it right back to you. I'm like, no worries, send it whenever you have time. I don't have time today. Never sent it again. So that's when Penny was like, where's that? I want that up, blah, 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 blah. Don't deny it. I've got it all. Don't fucking call my bluff, because I'll put shit all out. I don't have time right this second, but I will sit here as long as I to prove you to be the liars that you are. I am not putting up with this fucking bullshit anymore. It's crazy. It is insane. And this is all in the name of who? Summer Wells.
Yeah, they're still up to fucking fuck shit.
This is terrible. It's literally a travesty. Stacey, thank you so much. Just because you're so good to me. Thank you. What's not important? Who's Jamie? Hold on a minute. I told them that Jody Sue and Andy Bernard's relationship is no one's business unless it was directly to do with Summer. I agree. Reaper's grim smile. I absolutely agree. Unless something has to do with Summer, there is no good to do stuff. You're going to need distractions. Enough distractions have been made along the way. Don't you think? Every time I've been live doing something important, I got Jenny coming months and months and months. Now, listen. Everybody around you knows that's not true. This is coming from the people that sit in Discords and stream Jody for days on end without sleep on cocaine. Right?
Oh my God, isn't that funny? Because Jenny was going to try to set Fred up and try by buying cocaine off of him. So interesting. Cocaine coming up twice.
Jenny, that's your drug of choice, right? Have you told your friends about all that? You like to do a little, right? 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 Should I pull a prayer garden on ya?
Right.
Maybe a little more sleep and a little bit less snorting. What do you say? If we get some good sleep, refocus on what's important. I think it's clouding your judgment a little bit.
Maybe
Right.
before
That's it. Tiffany said it, not me.
Christmas. I don't even know.
Right.
So
Yeah. But it's funny because they know that we are. The person that watches stuff in their Discord all the time knows that we're watching. But no, we're not actually, because it's too stressful and it doesn't matter at all, because that person is irrelevant to us. The lies she talks.
The lies.
That person is the most relevant
Because it's lies, because Jenny says so.
person. That
She doesn't
person,
prove
namely
on
Jody
everything.
Sue, is more important than Summer is to you. And that's facts. We all know it. You don't cover Summer. You only cover Jody.
And
So
now
please
Fred.
tell us again how irrelevant she is.
Right.
Okay.
Just like she
Okay,
says
pretty
that
sweet.
Fred Hill is irrelevant, but she obsesses over him. Her and all these people. So irrelevant, but they're making him relevant by how much they freaking talk on him. Do they realize that? They want to look at him in a sus way, but then they want to act like, okay, that's they want that part to be relevant and known and everybody to believe, and promote, but they don't want to hear his experience. That's not relevant. Him recording for law enforcement is not relevant at all. Yeah, I think it's probably more important to law enforcement, the recordings that Fred did, than your metadata of the 15th. As if the FBI hasn't already done that. You are such a narcissist if you actually believe that you doing the metadata of June 15th is somehow beneficial for the law enforcement. How many months after was that you turned that in? Like after Summer went missing? You don't think they've already done that? I just have a hard time believing, guys, that the stuff that was not for content was this metadata. That somehow was so top secret and was turned into TBI. Like, as if TBI haven't done this stuff.
I'm just joining, so far behind, doing it now at 1.5. Oh, you're coming in hot. Let's go. Well, I was in such a mood today, and honestly, this is the best mood I've been in all day. I guess I've just been itching to get online. Ask my friends. I was heated, literally pissed. The lies infuriate me. I'm not gonna lie about that. It's infuriating to listen to these people lie.
About us constantly. Every single live, we get messages and screenshots, right? Clips, even of her bringing us up in places we don't belong, telling lies about us, and it gets old. It gets real old. But we have receipts. Yeah. They don't.
Somebody messaged me and said there are hundreds of folks that have hoped and prayed for justice for Summer from day one, desperately. Nana acts like she's the only one. Right? I know, right?
They're accusing us of stuff with no proof whatsoever of anything. Yep. But we have the proof, so there's that. It'll be out.
I just want to bring attention to the dog that's being neglected in the background that's been barking for a solid several minutes. I didn't notice that last night, but I'm noticing it now. I'm curious to see how long that goes on. Why are your animals being neglected in the background? That happened with Yennefer as well. On my panel many moons ago.
Yeah, I don't get a background more. That's why I put hyper.
Did you guys hear Fred? Fred, come. He was just saying he was wondering that himself why the dog was being neglected. And then I look over at him and he's laughing because of what Tiffany's saying because he was just thinking the same thing. Because these people are so obsessive that they neglect their priorities, I guess. I mean, like I said yesterday, how does these people have time in their lives if they claim to have several of these women, including Jenny, claim to have a full-time job, but yet how does that happen? That's usually 8 hours a day, right? And then, but yet Gavel Geeks is in like every hate stream, either live or she's in a hate stream every night for 3 to 6 hours at a time. Something has to be going on. Like, how do you stay up for all that? I can only, make assumptions here of what is going on. That you would be able to be like up for that many hours and on top of that have all this time for research and everything you looked into and debunked. I mean, there's just this is another one of those who there is not enough hours in the day. They seem to be getting so much done. It doesn't make sense to me. Like, she's the only one that put up flyers, right? Do you know this woman when we were at the freaking vigil? I'm talking about Jenny. Do you know when she saw me? This was let's see here. I went down the first time January of 2022, then June of 2022, then January of 2023. Okay. I forget which one it was, but she came up to me crying, like apologizing to me. Like, I'm serious. She started like crying when she saw me and gave me a hug. Bawling, crying, guys. What a fake.
Ago, and it was becoming increasingly annoying to me because I think it's very irritating.
Yeah, she has blue hair. She's on my thumbnail. I put a picture of her up in it. She dyes her hair blue.
To leave your dogs to just bark and bark and bark. Usually when a dog is barking, they need to be let out or fed, kind of like a baby, right? They don't have voices. They can't speak to you. All they can do is bark, and they're barking and letting you know they need something. Why have you not gotten up from your chair to go take care of your dog? Whichever one of you it is, please take care of your animals before you get on a live stream, because you've only been live a couple minutes here at this point, and you are letting your dog just sit there and bark. I hope you don't have neighbors, but besides the neighbors, your dog needs attention. I can't stand people that ignore their animals. Don't get animals if you can't care for them.
Stevie has a great question. Is there a line with going real life in cases? Yes. And I crossed it. I did. I crossed it. Because what I heard was someone directly involved. And because she has asked me not to bring up their names, I won't. Because someone directly involved said it, I had to step over that line.
Okay. So this is, I want you to remember that
she had to. She stepped over a line, but she had to, right? So basically, you didn't step over a line then because you had to. So,
Adrian is sassy here. So not a lot of people know who she is. So she says, because that this came from someone that was directly involved, she had to cross over that line. No, you didn't. You just chose to. Now, why would you, of all people, were you on this phone call that allegedly happened? Were you there? Did you witness something? If so, what did you witness? I have not seen anything yet worthy of having a phone call made to have a child removed or checked on or anything like that. Why would the person who was directly involved not be the one who had to step over the boundary? Why did it have to be you?
Right.
Sassy.
Exactly.
It's a little odd. Why would it have to be you specifically? I want to know. So it makes no sense, right? That the person directly involved would need her to step over the line. That doesn't sound right to me. Something isn't right. Something is wrong, very wrong there. So that in itself is bullshit. It's a lie. And I know it's a lie because I've seen nothing proving that anybody's child was in danger. Why is it that I was able to cover Jody Sue for as long as I did and never have to feel I needed to cross over that line? Why were you involved with a custody issue or alleged CPS case?
Yeah, you guys, by the way, this is just reminding how close these people were to Andy Bernard. And we're supposed to somehow take their word for it on Fred. You know, like, I mean, hello, you're obviously completely biased, and we have to question your common sense if you are besties with Andy Bernard, okay, and backing him that hardcore. Like, you obviously have an agenda here. So it's not really fair. You're obviously not going to be fair to Fred when you have when you're pushing a certain narrative and you want to believe Andy Bernard so bad. You know? Fred is the one that's, recorded for law enforcement and recorded Andy Bernard and Jody Sue and the parents for the 15th, 16th, and 17th. And he's also the one that said he saw Andy Bernard on the road, on Ben Hill Road. You guys claim because you talked to Andy Bernard's boss, who supposedly told you that Andy was on camera all day, that suddenly means that Fred was lying. When you didn't see any video footage, you're just taking one person's word over another. You didn't see, that's not proof. What don't you guys get? That's another thing that they love to push, that they were saying Andy Bernard was at work all day because supposedly their boss said he was. Bosses don't lie ever. I mean, according to Jody Sue, he did. Jody Sue claims that his boss used to lie for him all the time. Besides, when it comes to a little missing girl, do we just take somebody's word for it because they're the boss? We don't even know, yeah, if that was really actually the person, really actually the boss. They could have had anybody say that stuff. The only way you're going to be able to prove that he was working all day is if you have camera footage of him at work, especially during those time frames. The time frames in question, particularly between 3 and 4, or 3:30 and 4. But they said Fred lied because the boss said Andy was was at work all day. So, yeah, that's their proof. Debunking.
Are you involved with that? If it even exists at all, which I don't believe it does. Where's the proof of that, Sassy? Where's the proof that this person directly involved needed you to step over that line? A YouTuber. We don't do that here on YouTube. This is sick. And it shouldn't be tolerated by anybody.
Well, what do you expect when these two are in hate chats like every fucking night of their lives? Like, I mean, what do you can't expect much out of them when that's their favorite, like what they do with their free time every night.
And if you see people enabling these pieces of shit, you know they're not good people. These are people that look down upon prayer streams for summer. You'll hear that too. Only evil people.
It's only they only talk up again about it is if it's their event, that they're holding for Summer Wells, if it's their vigil, if they're getting some kind of recognition for it. Anybody else that does anything's a threat to these people. They felt that Fred was a threat to whatever type documentary bullshit or whatever they got going on. Like, for some reason, Fred was a threat to them when it came to that, with their agenda that they were trying to push about Andy Bernard. That's why they didn't want a fair, documentary. They wanted a biased one that pushed their fucking belief. That's not in the best interest of Summer Wells, and I'm glad it fell through. Jellyfield donuts, what do you mean?
Look down on a prayer stream or a prayer vigil, people peacefully praying for a child that's missing. Yeah. Those are called snakes. Evil. This is just evil. Not good.
Oh, I see what you mean. I'm a threat to Jellyfield donuts. Are you kidding? I love Jellyfield donuts. It took me a second. Hey, you guys, I never said that. Jenny, she uses a lot of her proof or debunkings, like word things that I've said, and I never claim to have a good memory. I always say use Fred's own words, not something that I said.
When she ever said last night that the candle streams were basically worthless, the first thing I said was purely evil. Only an evil person could ever say that. Why would a father want his child to be taken into state custody, but would not fight for the custody of that child and get others to help. And that's my biggest question. Well, I always told them that was a lost cause. I said, I don't think that's necessary. That's a child old enough to speak for herself. She's old enough to be emancipated, for fuck's sakes, practically. So what are you going to accomplish? The courts are so backlogged. Do you really think that you're going to get before a judge? I said all of this. I said, he's sleeping, allegedly sleeping, while this alleged, unaliving shit's going on and all that. The man's sleeping and they think he's going to get custody of anybody. Yeah, I don't think so. But, he said she'd be better off. And I guess they believe so too, because it's their right to make these decisions. I'm sorry, I don't think so.
They got way too involved.
We don't do that here.
Way too involved in Jody Sue's real life and totally stepped over line and decided to help Andy Bernard in his custody, pursuits and his agenda, it sounds like. And it's really gross. And that's the type of people we're dealing with. And we're supposed to, they're the ones that are standing part of the group here. This is Yennefer for life. Like I just showed Yennefer the other day. I just showed Ryan yesterday. Now we're on Jenny. These people promote Andy Bernard like he is the greatest thing. But they want you guys to think Fred Hill's like the worst and the biggest liar and this horrible person. Hold on, my screen.
Yes, the father, in air quotes, was sleeping. That's what I was told.
Damn it.
On the 13-hour call that Adrian says she wasn't on. She was on the call. She heard the whole magistrate conversation. She heard all of this. And she made reference in this live, later in the live, that she got on the call and Benny was asleep. He fell asleep at like hour 1 of that call. He barely heard a thing. I never heard him speak after the first hour. He was literally sleeping the whole time, not even present. So that proves also nothing, Adrian. You can't say, oh, he was asleep by the time I got on the call. He was asleep from hour 1. Okay? All right. I've been screaming this from the rooftops. All these things. You're lying to all of your people too. They're
still lying.
May be ignorant, but the people over here are not. This is not just about Summer's Day. This goes really, really far, wide, and deep. Like, this is all kinds of things rolled up into one. And it all matters. I don't know who these people are or what they're involved with, but I think people need to start digging. And maybe JLR wasn't wrong about you, Jenny. Maybe JLR was actually right about you, and maybe I need to reach out to him. I heard you have criminal charges. You want to come clean about those? I'm not sure what they are, but I'm gonna find out. I don't know who you are, Jenny. Adrian, I really know nothing about the two of you, but you've got my attention, and I think it's worth looking. I don't know why you've done this. People like this need to be known. They do need to be known. If you've got nothing to hide, nothing to worry about, right? All my shit's out there, been out there for years.
They want to dig into everybody else. Like they want to dig into everything about you. Okay to sit in chats every night that is, talking about my minor daughter in sexual ways, and just it's weird. Yeah, I think we do need to know about these people.
Years, every corner of my life. And Jenny's crying because she was
Yeah, she did the same thing to me. She cried.
doxxed by JLR. What the fuck did you do to get JLR's attention? I keep asking. It wasn't just that Deets channel. I'm sorry. It was far more than that. I don't buy it for a second. I don't. I don't know why people always pick me to fuck with. I don't get it. Why they needed to put me on that call, that was a whole lie that involved removing Jody Sue's daughter, is what they wanted to do. They wanted her out of that house. Jenny told me that she wanted to talk to Jody Sue's daughter when Andy was able to take her. She wanted to be there for her. She wanted to support her. She wanted to get her help. She wanted to do all these things.
Wow.
And I said, Jenny, listen. I said, why don't you wait for this child to be of age? Like, if you find out later down the road she might need a resource or some help, like, but this is a minor. Like, you can't just go speaking to this child.
Yeah, weird.
She's like, yeah, you're right. I know. But, you know, she's not getting an education. She's being homeschooled. There's no way Jody's taking care of her. This is no word of a lie.
Wow.
Jenny, you've got it all recorded, right? I mean, you've recorded every word I've said.
That is such a freaking, like, overstretch. I mean, it crosses so many lines. Because Jenny, I mean, that is so dangerous, the position that they felt that, I mean, these people got so obsessive that they got so invested in Jody Sue's life. With her ex, by the way, her ex, who's going to have, like, ulterior motives, right? And they think because Andy's telling them certain things about the daughter, they're coming in like they need to rescue Jody Sue's daughter. When they're at the same time working with Andy Bernard. Like, this is so fucked up, dude. It really is. This is like real interference. I mean, what the fuck, dude? I mean, she is just unreal. We're supposed to take this person. I mean, her thinking is obviously not okay. You know, I was listening to another short today that somebody, of course, Becca's Eyes, like, shared, and it was something that Jenny put out about me and was saying, saying I was a liar because I didn't know what she was talking about when she came into my chat one time and mentioned something about Fred and the polygraph and having to lie, that he wouldn't lie for even law enforcement, or, making that comment. And because I completely forgot what the hell she was fucking talking about, like, I suddenly was like a liar. Like, she just gets so overly invested in the littlest things. Like, she digs into every single word or phrase that Fred has said in private conversations that he didn't even know he was being recorded for, and some of them. And she digs it apart. Like, God, she's just so obsessive. I don't know, like, exactly why she thinks that her database, especially is these, is that supposed to be the evidence that Cursed with Curiosity supposedly stole that they talk about? Are you for real? The metadata of the pictures of the 15th are supposed to be what was the stolen evidence? Is that what it was? Or am I wrong? Because that's absolutely ridiculous if so. Because law enforcement's already going to have that information. Well, before Jenny turned that in, like, what, a year and a half later? Definitely well over a year after Summer went missing, and she thinks that they haven't done this stuff? And you're telling me that Cursed with Curiosity stole evidence, and that's stealing evidence? I don't know. I know. Tiffany did make a correct description or about how Jenny has the same type of laugh as Nicole Kessinger. Yeah, that it's the same creepy kind of laugh. That's so true.
Why don't you just put it all out there? Don't lie about me now. Put it out. Why'd you want to talk to Jody Sue's minor child?
Yeah, weird.
There's no reason for that. There is no necessary reason for that. Go find the children in your own life to talk to. Maybe they need help. I actually think there's a good chance they might. So go check on them, okay? Don't worry about other people's kids. They're not your responsibility. You don't need to step over any lines, Adrian. You don't need to cross over any boundaries. You don't need to go real life on anybody. You don't need to befriend someone's whole entire family. It's just psychotic. This is a whole Lifetime movie network series. The two of them could straight up be stalker material for a Lifetime movie network series. A whole year-long series.
They're trying. That's what little, I mean, did she know that Tiffany know that's new? That's what they were trying to do. Is be part of, and this is May 22nd of 2023. They were trying to be part of a fucking documentary, in my opinion. White Boy just put out more proof today that Don Wells even told a conversation with him about this Netflix documentary. I just put out proof, like, whenever it was, here recently, of my text with Don, where he also said that Nana for Life, like, got upset with them when they backed out of the documentary. And I've for years been telling you that something like this is going on, and I knew it. I even talked to people, I mean, has said over the years, like, I felt like there was a documentary being filmed. Yeah, Scott H even said, there's a clip of Scott H saying something about it, how it was happening. Richard Gurley was talked to about a documentary or movie. And that just happens to be who Adrian spoke to, is Richard Gurley with Andy Bernard. And I just showed that clip earlier of Chasing Truth being like how they were hunting people. And they're the ones that get to decide who are the nefarious people that they think need to be looked into when they're hiding in bushes. And they're talking about, like, I mean, it's just crazy that these people thought this was okay.
Year-long series, in fact. And I want you guys to know this could happen to anybody, okay? It's happening still to this day to Jody, but it could happen to anybody here. So just know, and when you look at your kids, know they could be yours, that they could do this to, or would be willing to do this to. Just because they put on a great presentation with the Nicole Kessinger laugh and giggle, it doesn't mean that what you see is what you're really getting, because it's not. These are wolves in sheep's clothing.
I agree, but And it's 3 years later, to almost exactly 3 years
and
later.
and then I walked away. I didn't take it any further. I don't terrorize her. I don't harass her. I don't act like, someone else to get in there and talk to her. None of those things happen. I had to cross the line, and you heard it yourself today. Jody was asked the question, if the roles were reversed, what would you have done? And she said it herself, that if she thought that my child was in danger, that she would have done the same.
How about this? I'm going to say something, okay? Take it or leave it, like it or don't. I really don't give a fuck. I think your children are in danger when you're sitting around drunk on your live streams at night, Sassy. And they're running around the house and you're on YouTube or wherever you might be and you're shit-faced.
Huh.
Who's watching them?
That's not the only time I've heard that accusation about Adrian.
Has Jody not noticed that? I don't think Jody would call anybody on you because no one has called anybody on you. And I mean, that's not a safe situation, but shit, we let it go on, right? Just saying. So you didn't hear that actually happen, and it didn't happen, and you weren't forced to do anything. Stop lying to these people. Okay, maybe a little bit less drinking, a little bit more focusing on your own family, and stop this. That's all. It could all just end. Choice is yours. Like I said, I could do this every single night. No skin off my back. I don't care. And I will until I'm done. Until you stop. I'm just going to make this shit a hobby. Because I don't like you. I don't like what you're doing. I don't like either of you. And do not forget, Fizzle is a part of this. She just happened to fall asleep last night. She's always behind on the chat or falling asleep or derailing a conversation and turning it sideways into something that is not being discussed and doesn't matter. That's what Fizzle does. But she's all up in this. She is a very big contributor. Don't forget. Please keep that in mind. She's in the chat right in this live. Vanessa says, Jody Sue's daughter spoke the truth, and I hope everyone heard her. Oh, they heard her, Vanessa. And they'll continue to hear Jody Sue's daughter's voice. Jenny, why don't you show everybody that database? And show everybody all the information about Summer in the database.
She can't. It's top secret.
And I would sure as shit hope so. And I do hope that she's telling the truth about reporting things that she says were happening to Summer as well. I will say that. I hope she reported it.
Yeah, me too. One other extremely important point that they seem to keep pretending isn't part of anything. Jody Sue's son is the one who said she did that. That's
now you're going to start to hear, all right, and the tone of Jenny has extreme hatred for Jody. Like, this is not just, okay, let's listen to what Jody has to say today, and we're going to pick it apart piece by piece, and then at the end of the day...
Yeah, and they did it for Andy Bernard. It's just crazy. And so after they move on to, the other person that they felt attacking Andy Bernard was Fred Hill. So now they, their target is Fred too. And it's like they've been obsessed. That's how these people get. And it's witnessed by them being in these chats every fucking night, guys. About me or Fred. It's crazy. Every night of their lives.
we're going to make dinner and we're going to eat and we're going to go to bed and tomorrow we're going to go to work and then maybe we'll pick it up later.
When you see one of these, then you see the other. It's very fucking weird. None of these people can do anything by themselves. Ever.
Weak. This is extreme hatred. They're not reacting to Jody in a civilized manner. They're not going over her lies to piece things together for Summer anymore. So in the beginning, I believe maybe they were focused on Summer for a short time. It quickly turned into obsession and pure hatred. You're going to hear the hatred. It is extremely dominant, okay? Jenny and Adrian hate. And I use the word hate like for real. This is not an exaggeration. Extreme hatred is actually probably an understatement.
Yeah, it's weird.
The only thing they really do concerning Summer is make a spectacle of her. As long as it's wrapped up in
And they
a
hang
pretty
out
bow.
with the same type of people who go around like Nana for Life and Ryan, go around saying they hate people, you know, that they hate Fred Hill or they hate Ziggy or they want to see Ziggy go down. That's the type of people these people are right here. They absolutely do have hate in their hearts. That's not an exaggeration. Tiffany's saying that right there, because that's what fuels them for hours on end. Like, it's crazy.
Oh, it all looks real good on the outside.
Wyatt was taken seriously. It wasn't
If
some
Andy,
setup.
no, if Andy would have told me that, I would have said, okay, well, you know, there you go. This is a custody thing. You deal with it yourself. But Andy didn't tell me that. I had proof that her son said it. So, and that's, and because it wasn't being taken seriously by anybody. And we were just talking about this, and I'm going to say it publicly because it's important. Andy should have never contacted me and put me in that impossible situation. Andy should have never done that to me. Never.
Oh my God.
He should have never went to a YouTube creator. He should have.
Wow.
Okay. So here you're going to hear me. I'm not defending Andy, but I'm going to say this. Adrian, you're a grown-ass woman with how many kids? Like 6, 7 kids hanging on?
Oh my God. So Andy made you do something. Okay.
You can't make your own decisions. Andy should have never done that to me. How about Adrian should have been a responsible adult and said, no, I'm sorry, that crosses the line. Right? You chose to get really close to Andy. You chose to work for Andy. You chose to coddle Andy. You chose to become like completely intertwined in every corner of Andy's life. You chose that. So you can't really put that on Andy. How about you take responsibility for that? Your choice. You did that shit. No? I mean, I take responsibility for who I choose to speak to. I can't say I talk to them. How did the conversation become theirs? Well, I mean, it only came from one place. It had to be one of two people. And it wasn't Jody Sue's son. Definitely wasn't Jody Sue's son, because he is the furthest voice on that recording. You can tell he's being recorded. I don't even know if that young man knows that he was recorded. Hold on. Two, you are dirty as they come. People need to know who you are, and I don't give a fuck. This is who you are. All right. Hold on a minute.
I think you guys get the idea. The type of shady shit that these people are into. And she's dead set on trying to prove Fred a liar because she'll say she'll find something that somebody else says, and because they say something different than Fred, that he's a liar. And just like we showed earlier, how easily she will call Fred a liar because she claims that Fred said he was up there getting that truck when the pool was up there, and this lady says something different because she claims that she heard the truck being dragged away because it had to be dragged off, like dragged down Ben Hill Road because it didn't have wheels. And and Fred debunked that and showed you guys, said that's not what I said. I said I was up there getting gas. It had nothing to do with the truck. And Jenny's got it mixed around that Fred must be lying because, the truck incident, wasn't the correct timing because she talked to somebody else who claimed to have heard, Fred towing that truck. Well, it doesn't match, Jenny, because it's two different instances. So, I mean, it's just crazy to me that she wants to act like Fred just made up him seeing Summer Wells in a pool with a boy that looked like Damien. Like, she's literally wanting to call him a liar, just that he just made that up. Why? I don't understand why she wants to say that. Like, that he just made it up. Like, why because she wants to defend Andy Bernard so bad. So anyways, she's absolutely a liar when she says she's willing to open to change her opinion. That's not true. She has not been open to change her opinion now for well over 2 years or 3 years. Actually, over 2 years, 2.5 years. So I don't think she's going to be changing anytime soon. And I'm not going to, I gave an opportunity for her to come up here and present what things that she wants to say Fred lied about. Instead of me listening to a hate stream for hours on end of her just not by herself, having to be with other people talking shit. She can't do anything on her own. Like, you know what I mean? None of these people can. They feel like they have to cling together because they're not confident enough on their own. I literally would love her to come up here and tell me exactly what it is, the exact lies and discrepancies. Since there's so many and Fred's such a liar, she should be able to come up with a few off the top of her head, especially somebody who has quite the database that she does. Oh, I know. I have to be together with Nicole. It can't be by herself. Can't be ever me and one of them one-on-one. Nope. It's always got to be like several of them coming together. They're part of the bully clan, like I already said. Every night on these hate streams, like it's always like trying to make fun of us. And and tell me what that has to do or how that benefits Summer Wells. If you are so serious or so about Summer Wells, why are you in these hate streams nightly about me and Fred? That does not benefit Summer Wells in any way. Nana for Life is too. So is Ryan. Every single one of them. Yennefer's in there now. They think it's cool being bullies. So yeah, she doesn't want to just handle it one-on-one. She doesn't have exact things that she could tell me that is, hey, Turtle Talk, to prove that Fred's just straight out lying, She gives him zero grace on fucking anything, dude. And that's why I think they're dangerous. Because they have an agenda. They're running interference. And they're biased. Has nothing to do whether or not nobody said from me anyways, nobody ever said a documentary wouldn't be a good thing. That has nothing to do with this. But that's what they want you to believe so they can turn it around and be like, that's what I'm mad about. No, I'm mad about that you guys are spreading a narrative and we're planning on putting like biased information in this documentary. So yeah, I'm definitely gonna have a problem with that. And anyways, guys, I don't think I have much more to say. I've got to go. I hope you guys have a great night, and I'll talk to you later.